Hey, everybody, it's Matt Steen, co-founder of Chemistry Staffing. And today, different conversation. Joining me is Jacob Dickerson. So Jacob is the senior pastor at Destination Community Church in Prestonsburg, Kentucky. And so if the name Prestonsburg is kind of sticking in the back of your head, that's because they're pretty much in the epicenter of a lot of the flooding that we've heard about in Kentucky and in Appalachia. And so what I was hoping to do, if our internet holds out, because Jacob's told me it's a little spotty, but if the internet holds out, just like to have a real quick conversation with Jacob to learn a little bit about what's going on there, and then maybe talk a little bit about how churches across the country can help be a part of the efforts of flood relief. So Jacob, thanks for taking some time to talk, man. I know you're crazy busy right now. So.
Absolutely. Yeah, thankful to connect, Matt, even if the internet's a little spotty.
Yeah, it's a little spotty today, but we'll bear with it. So Jacob, tell me a little bit about what you guys are seeing right now. It's been 10 days, give or take, maybe 2 weeks since all the flooding started.
Yeah. So last Thursday it started to rain in eastern Kentucky, and the rain continued for several days. We're seeing and saw flooding like we have never seen before. Catastrophe is a very accurate word. There are people in cities all around who have lost everything. 35 plus have been confirmed killed as a result of these storms. And it's just a very, very tough situation we're dealing with.
Man, that's hard. Now you've been at Destination for just about a year now, right? So you relocated from hurricane country, figuring that you were coming into a safer place, and here you are, and in your first year as pastoring this church, you're all of a sudden in the midst of a pretty significant disaster. Tell me a little bit about how you guys have been serving the community.
Yeah, so so a couple of things we've been able to do as a result of this is we were able to get our church together last weekend and create flood buckets. Part of this is once the water recedes, people need to get in and they need to clean up their homes and they need to salvage what they can. And so these buckets provide tools and resources they absolutely need to do that. So bleach, cleaning supplies, sponges, everything they're going to need to get in there. Our church was able to create 60 of those buckets and drop them off. And it's interesting, when I dropped those off, Salvation Army had actually donated 500 buckets and they had just ran out that day.
Wow.
And so to drop off 60 was just a special, tangible way for us to serve the community. We were also able to donate $5,000 worth of Walmart gift cards to the Martin Community Center. They're kind of home base for FEMA, disaster relief, and all the organizations that are there. People have lost everything. And so if that can help ease a burden to say, hey, here's $100 Walmart gift card, if you can just go get clothes for the day or the week, then that's things that we wanted to be able to do.
Yeah.
And then lastly, honestly, Matt, we're just meeting needs as we hear about them. And so I've had families come up and said the only clothes they had were the clothes on their back. And so we're taking them to Walmart and getting clothes. We have people saying they don't have food, and we're trying to provide for that. And in fact, last Saturday, there's 125 people at the Jenny Wiley Lodge. It's a state park right in our back door, and they're displaced, and that's where they're staying, and they have food. And so we as a church were able to come alongside of them. And so those are just some of the ways. Obviously, this is a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah.
And so we have taken some steps, and we're taking some steps to love on our community.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And you guys, just so that we're clear, I mean, you're not a mega church by any stretch of the imagination. You guys, I mean, you're running what typically on a Sunday morning?
We're about 190 on a Sunday morning.
Yeah, and so good on you guys for stepping up and owning this. And I mean, in the midst of everybody else, I'm sure in your congregation is still kind of struggling to wrap their heads around a lot of this as well. So well done, and thank you for that. As I'm hearing, I think we've had a conversation where I'm hearing that some of the needs that the area has are, is box fans, things that we never think of, but box fans to help dry out houses and, deal with the heat of this time of year. I think you were telling me that there's a need for air mattresses and, of course, meals and flood cleanup buckets, that kind of stuff. And ultimately, there's going to be a need for drywall. And I think you said as people start to rebuild, but that's going to be down the road. As we kind of in different parts of the country that aren't experiencing this, have no comprehension of what you guys are experiencing. What are some ways that we can be, one, practically serving you, but two, also, how can we be praying for your congregation, but also for the area?
Yeah, those are great questions. And so, prayer wise, just pray for peace and pray for comfort. People are hurting right now, and they're looking for a source of hope and peace in their life. And so I encourage people to pray that way for those who have been affected. Pray that followers of Jesus would not just stop at prayer. I think of First John, let us not love and word or talk, and those things are great. But he says, let's love in deed and in truth. And I think that's a great thing to pray. God, help followers of Jesus in Eastern Kentucky and DCC to step up, to step out, and to serve and meet needs in our community right now. And ultimately, and we're praying is even in the midst of a tragedy, that the message of Jesus could be really, really clear. That the way we love, the way we're available, the way we serve could point to the fact that, hey, there's a God who loves us, and there's a God who's with us in the midst of the storm. And he's called us as his followers to help you and to lead you to be his follower as well. And so those would be some ways to pray, just for peace and comfort for followers of Jesus to step up and to serve, and that the message of Jesus would just be really, really clear in a season like this.
That's awesome, man. So that's definitely, we could definitely be praying for that. And so for so many of us, I'm in Orlando. I've got no comprehension of what's going on there. I know that one of the real practical needs that you guys have is just being able to fund some of the relief efforts, because if you guys are making breakfast for people out your back door, eggs cost money. And with inflation, what it is, eggs cost more money than they did 2 weeks ago. And so my hope and my prayer in this is that some of our crowd, some of our churches that are watching this, and church leaders, may be able to step in and help support you guys as you do that work. And so what we're going to do is we'll link off to y'all's website so that people can find your giving page, but also we'll have a form on down below this that if you've got resources that you can give, or if you're looking to be able to come and bring some manpower potentially, or if you just happen to have somebody in your congregation looking to get rid of a truckload of sheetrock, just to be able to make that connection. What I know about Destination, we helped Jacob become the senior pastor at Destination, and now we're helping him find a next generation pastor. So if anybody's interested, let me know. But what I know is that the work that you guys are doing in that area, even before this tragedy, this disaster, has been solid gospel work. And you guys have done just amazing things to bring Jesus to your neighborhood. And so we'd love to be able to help continue to do that. And so we'll make available the contact information down below and a way to get in touch with Destination to help them as they spread, not just hope in a time of tragedy, but also the word, the gospel through this. Jacob, one last thing. What should we know as the capital C church in this country about not just your congregation, but also the area that you're in the midst of this tragedy? What final words would you give us as we try to process what all's going on there?
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously this is unprecedented. This is catastrophic. This is a very, very difficult situation that people are dealing with. Part of why Molly and I even moved to Eastern Kentucky and felt called by God to be at Destination was 90% of our county does not go to church or have a relationship with Jesus.
Wow.
Most of those people are probably by this flooding. And so there is a tremendous opportunity not to just meet physical needs in people's lives, but also spiritual needs in people's lives. And I think if the capital C Church can just have that on the radar when it comes to this situation and other situations, hey, we can serve and meet physical needs, and that can lead to conversations about meeting spiritual needs, especially in our context. That's going to go a long way and fulfill all in that Jesus has given us.
That's a good word. Well, Jacob, know that we are for you. Know that we are praying hard for you and for your community. And we will continue to pray for you even on the other side of this. But thank you for the good work that you're doing. Thank you for sharing the gospel through tough situations, and man, Godspeed as you guys continue to serve well.
Absolutely, Matt. Thank you guys. And it's a privilege to be able to partner together.